She knew the whole time. The entire time going through 4. She knew. She openly knew. From the very beginning up until her death, she fully knew. How's it going, guys? Another great Thursday. Gear Talks again. I got construction outside, so sorry about that. Remodeling going on in the hallway. Yeah, decided to pump this one out. I originally had an idea set up for today's video. The next Swarm Leader video, which you could say will be the next video after this one. But I've been going through and playing Gears 4 once again. And I went through knowing what I know now and what we have coming up in 5, and it's just, Reyna knew the entire time. She really did. She knew about the Locust. She knew about things that she didn't even tell Kate. Just all of it. And the reason I say this is because at the end of the first act, when you're playing through and before you have to go and see Marcus and the whole, the outsiders are taken pretty much. You get to the point where Reyna is talking with Kate and she says, well, why are the COG here? I told you to go in quiet. And they say, we did. They said something's taking their people, which the Swarm is. And it's not even that she doesn't bat an eye to it or anything, but she says, get the power on and get going. And Kate brings up, we need to leave. That should be what we're doing. We should get out of here. And she says, no, we're getting the power on. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. And then they leave, and then Oscar comes up to her and said, you've always known this day would come. And she says, yep. You can take this as in the COG is finally coming for them, or you can take it as they know that something's going to happen. People are being taken. They know something's coming. So Oscar might know a little bit about this too. So it goes on from there, because at first you just think like, okay, maybe there's something going on. Maybe it's not just the COG. Then it gets to where the kidnapping start happening. And Reyna straight up just locks Kate and the other two in the garage, where they're putting the power in so they can get that going with the fabricator. And it comes up to the point where she's looking and she's like, you need to stay, and then you need to run and get as far away as you can. And it's not even like she's questioning what's going on, or later on when you see Oscar, which we'll get to him in a moment, they don't question it. They just start fighting. You could just say, like, well, what else are they going to do? But no, it's like, it seems like they know what they're doing in this situation. Like, they know what's coming and what they're about to do. So then Reyna ends up getting a fight with, later on, the Scion that we all know and love, who ends up talking at the end, riding the Swarmac, and cuts his hand off. And she's going at it, fighting him. She's holding her own, as far as you can tell by watching it. And then Oscar comes in and starts shooting at him and tells her to make a run for it. So it's either he just cares for her because that's his sister-in-law, or it's because of the fact that she's more important, or she's the one that needs to get away because the Swarm can't have her. And the Swarm end up taking her, as we learn. But what we do see before she gets taken, and she pretty much just accepts it, because it seems like she knows they're not going to kill her. It seems like she knows they're not going to. She grabs onto her medallion pendant, whatever you want to call it, and looks at the side that's not facing the locust symbol. It's just the normal one she had from Kate's grandmother. So you could just say, oh, that's an heirloom, or you could also say she's looking at it, she's not looking at the locust side, or else it's going to tip us off, and she's thinking like, it's finally time, it's finally happening, they're back. That's kind of how I took it after I went through and replayed the first act. And it really holds up. Now, I don't know if I'm the first one to make this theory or not. I'm certain I haven't. Ever since the game came out, it's been a while. I'm guessing someone else has at least put this on a forum, put this on a chat, put this in comments. I don't know if I'm the first to make a video of it. If I am, yay me. If not, like, contact me on Twitter, put it in the comments section, anything like that, and I'll be glad to get the word out that this theory was around first. But if you sit down and think about it, and we're going to assume that Reyna is the descendant of Mira, we'll assume it for now, it really makes a lot of sense then. Because then it's like, she knows about the family history, she knows who her mother is, she knows what the pendant represents. And if it comes down to it too, that means she must be having the same visions that current Kate is having. Because as we saw, when Oscar said you've known this day would come, maybe she's had like very, very like weak memory flashes or maybe premonitions or what Kate's been having with her kind of thing. Just weaker because obviously the Swarm wasn't as powerful as they are going to be in 5 or what we've seen with Hivebusters or what's probably going to be in the book. So that's why I'm guessing she was probably getting those a while ago. It wasn't just like it just started recently happening. Probably over the years, it's slowly been hitting her, like they're forming. I'm getting this connection. And then she obviously told Oscar, because Oscar said, you've known this day would come. I'm guessing Oscar knew. But I'm guessing Reyna probably said, don't say a single word of this, or things are going to get very out of hand. Because knowing Oscar, situation, if it was really that bad, he'd tell Kate. But as we saw with the Swarm, how all this stuff happened in one night, I want to take a really good guess in saying that all of this was just growing really quickly. And they didn't know when they would actually strike. And another thing I say that it might be true that Reyna knew is if she was having the flashes and everything, she'd know that they were coming. Like, people are being taken. She'd be like, oh, God, it's going to happen soon. I don't know if it's tonight or whenever. The only thing that pokes holes into that is when she looks up to the guy on the tower and says, if you see any cog, set the alarm. Now, the alarm still ended up going off because of the Swarm. But you could say, like, she really did and she was still expecting the cog. Well, if she's trying to keep everyone else out in the dark about this except for, like, Oscar and whoever the husband was, I'm guessing the husband must have known something at one time, Kate's father, then you could say, she was just preparing them. So any threat that came through, the guy would have been like, okay, this must be cog related, because what else could it be? Let's hit the button. Yeah, that's what I'm going to take a good guess with when it comes to if Reyna knew. Because towards the end, too, when she's talking to her, it really does seem like, these are my dying words. She's not sitting there like, okay, now that I'm about to die, let me tell you about everything so you're prepared. No, I think she was probably like, you're going to get the vision soon, too. There's no point in me even telling you if you're going to start seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's all I got for it, really, because if you look back on it, especially with what I was guessing before I replayed the campaign one more time, Reyna definitely had to have known something. I mean, especially if you're wondering who her mother is, which could possibly be Mira, then she must know something. Because it wouldn't make any sense if it's like, oh, this character who just got taken and is now in charge of the hive mind, or she's the main focus of the hive mind. It wouldn't make any sense if she was just a random choice, like, oh, she's leading the outsiders, let's take her. Because it's not like the Swarm are idiots. They definitely have a connected hive mind mentality where they're able to at least think. They know what they're doing. They're able to somewhat speak, even without, having someone hooked up. So it's not like they could have just been like, oh, she's leading, let's just take her. No, they must have had a reason, because if you're going to just have that mentality, just take Jin. All these forces. Well, it's like, give it a year and the Swarm's going to be bigger than any army there is on the planet Sarah. Mira, must have had Reyna. Reyna must have known something, chose not to say anything, and that's where we are. Yeah, and as we see with Hivebusters, there's more than one hive mind, so someone can make the argument, well, they hooked her up to a hive mind, but we know there's a major one somewhere. Why didn't they put her into that one? Well, the Swarm are just now getting to the size they are. Maybe the main one wasn't around at the time, or the main one was like a pseudo one, just in case the one she was hooked up to went down. Because I'm guessing all of them grouped up there, they were going to make that the main one. So that's why they hooked her up to the possible, at the time, main one. That gets destroyed, there's other hive minds around, the Swarm's probably like, okay, we'll just make a different one the main one. I'm guessing that's how it would work. Like I said, they don't seem like idiots. It seems like they would do something about this. Like, oh no, a hive mind's been destroyed. Let's just go and make another one that's the main one then. It's that simple. Yeah, so in my mind, I think that, I won't say Mira, but 5 will tell us what's going to happen with Mira. I think Reyna knew something. I think she didn't decide to tell anyone except for Oscar, just so that someone at least knew. And now Kate's getting the same visions that Reyna possibly was already having. So, that'll do it for this video. Again, a really quick one just because there's a lot of personal stuff going on in the background. Not with me, but with some other people that I'm trying to help with. So, I haven't had a lot of time this week to do things. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day you see this. Hopefully you see the day it comes out. I would greatly appreciate. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow us on all the stuff you need to follow us on. I'm always around saying hi into the Twitch stuff, so stop by some great people in the Gears community. I'm bound to be there. You guys have a great one. See you next Thursday.